By now, many of you will be familiar with our new president's impressive credentials. Dr. Deane comes to McMaster from Queen's University, where he served a 5-year term as Vice Principal Academic. Prior to joining Queen's, he was the Vice President Academic at the University of Winnipeg. In 2002, served as acting president of that institution for 2 years. Patrick Deane came to Canada from his native South Africa in 1978. He earned his MA and later his PhD in English Literature at the University of Western Ontario, and taught at the University of Toronto and at Western, where he served as chair of the English department. He is the author of 2 books and numerous articles with much scholarly attention to the works of W.H. Auden. We're delighted also to welcome Mrs. Deane, Sheila, to the McMaster family, although she's not able to be with us today. She's a writer and scholar in English and women's studies. The Deanes have 2 children, daughter Petra, who is a graduate student at Queen's, and a son, Colin, who is completing his undergraduate degree at the University of Winnipeg. I understand they also have 5 horses. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you'll join me in warmly welcoming our new president to McMaster. It's a great pleasure to introduce Dr. Patrick Deane.
You know, I had some notes prepared. You've quite overwhelmed me. Got a lot of things to say, but one thing I'll say straight off the top is how great an honor it is to serve in this capacity. The welcome you're all showing today, I mean, I know strawberries are an extraordinary draw, and you're obviously not wholly uninterested in the new guy. This is really a wonderful testimony to the community for which McMaster University is really well known across the country and beyond. And it feels to me such an enormous privilege to be coming into this position to serve all of you in the best way I can in the coming years. Really quite wonderful. This is a bit like a wedding reception in some ways, following a very long engagement. Some of you may even remember back in October when the announcement was made. Then this long sort of odd period, both in and out of time, ensued, which I would be here for a few days each month and be met by people who assumed I was already on the job. And then finally I arrived on campus formally in the position on Friday to find almost nobody here. And that reinforced the odd sense of being both in and out of time, but I'm consoled to see that there are in fact a lot of people here. Amongst the aspects of the university that make me feel so positively and optimistic about my role here and the way in which I can work for McMaster is the complexity and the depth of talent in the university itself. I always think universities are fabulous institutions because they're not invested in the decisions and the fortunes of any individual. They function, they triumph through the efforts of many, many people, all doing very diverse things. I marvel at this because I think it renders universities almost indestructible. And that's a great thing and an important thing for people who come into positions like my own to remember, which is that McMaster has a long and distinguished history. It has a vital life and energy. It will continue to have a superb future, and that energy will continue, and my role will be to do what I can to foster that and to sustain it in the best way I can. I came to Canada in 1979, casting around as my own son is doing, unclear of what I really wanted to do. But one thing I encountered was the reputation of McMaster, the reputation it had both for collegiality and communal support, but also its commitment to innovation. This is a university that's made a massive impact in many areas of study, all across the world, and often unacknowledged. Back then in 1979, this was in fact, in a sense, the heyday in which the influence of McMaster was being felt all over the place. So I did feel at the time that this would be a remarkable place with which to be affiliated. And it gives me a tremendous feeling of pride. And I have to say humility to have been invited to serve you in this way. It was said of me in the paper this morning that I'm the sort of person who's interested in applying himself to this job the way a scholar applies him or herself to their job. And that is true. My first year here will certainly involve a lot of studying and learning. I will appeal to all of you to educate me about Mac, in the spirit in which you all have been doing so already today. I have a lot to learn, and I can serve you best the more I know, and the more circumspect I am about what the issues are that concern all of you. So as the summer ensues, I'm going to certainly be around trying to learn as much as I can, but I hope everybody here will not hesitate at any point to grab me by the arm and talk to me, even if we haven't met before. Tell me what I ought to know, tell me what I'm getting wrong or what I'm getting right, and do whatever you can to educate this newcomer to your community. My wife is very sorry she couldn't be here today. She's doing the last bit of mopping up at the other end, dealing with the house sale at the other end of this move. At one level we thought we'd never get here. But she will soon be amongst you, and she will certainly enjoy the feeling, the welcome that I have felt today, which really has been quite wonderful. Nothing more to say other than that I look forward to chatting to as many of you as I can this afternoon, and saying that I have the greatest optimism for the future of McMaster. I feel that at any given moment in the history of an institution, you have challenges you have to deal with. If you read institutional histories, you discover that there are always those problems. But an institution this strong will deal with these issues that confront us right now, achieve more great things, and continue to make the massive impact on intellectual, professional, and cultural life in Canada that we have made up to this point. So thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for the welcome, and I look forward to talking to you all.
Mr. President, a small gift, a token of welcome to this university. It may or may not suit you at this particular time of the year, and it may or may not fit you. But I will present it to you in any case with our very best wishes, and again, a very warm welcome.
Only marginally less wise a moment than that one. It's cool in all the best senses.
Mr. President, we also have a small token of our welcome for Sheila, and if you would present this to her with the very best wishes of all of us here. Thank you.
This feels just great. It feels like it was my destiny. Thank you very much, everybody.